everybody. This is what I'm expecting from your Mathia workspace. Now there's kind of a lot of work to do for each activity, but I think it's really good because it's a step-by-step. So every single time, the little robot tells you that both equations are in the same form, which means they're stacked up, they're in standard form. So you're going to use linear combinations instead of the substitution method. However, if it asks you here, are they ready to be combined? The answer is no. They can't be combined right now because nothing would eliminate. We have to change them like we did in class. So I'm going to click one or both equations need to be modified. Now you guys get to choose. When you look at this, the hardest part is to decide what the easiest way to eliminate them is. Now I see that I have a 4 and a 12 for x. So I could change the 4 into a 12 if I multiply by 3. Seems like a good choice. I also have a negative 2y and a 4y, and that also seems like I could just change that 2 into a 4 by multiplying. Now I'm going to choose to change the x's just because I feel like it. You can choose either one when it's your turn. So I'm going to select that I'm going to eliminate the x's. So when you get down here, it's going to walk you through the changing. So I decided I was going to change the 4x into a 12, which means I need to multiply times 3. When I hit enter, it says yes, I get my little ring. And when I multiply by 3, that is now 12, but I also have to multiply everything else by 3. So negative 2y turns into negative 6y, and then I'm going to hit enter because the other side of the equal sign is separate. Negative 4 times 3, I get negative 12, enter. Now, for the second one, I already have negative 12x, so I don't need to do anything. So I'm just going to say I'm going to multiply the equation by 1, which means don't change it. Anything multiplied by 1 doesn't change, so when I hit enter, it just fills it out for me. So I didn't change this one, and now I can add them together. They are stacked up. The 12x minus 12x goes away. But negative 6y plus 4y, I now have negative 2y on that side of the equal sign. And on this side of the equal sign, I have negative 6. Enter. Now, down here, it says to solve for one variable, but you have to rewrite it as the variable equals blank. So if I do divide on both sides, what do I get? It looks like I get y equals 3. Enter. And then down here, we're not done. We have to also solve for x. So you guys get to choose whatever equation you want to plug it into. Down here, it's just asking you, hey, select the equation that you're going to use to calculate x. Do you want to do the original top, the original bottom, and then, surprise, you can't plug it into here because there is no x, so don't choose that one. But I'm just going to choose the top one because the numbers look a little smaller to me. Now here's the best part. If I zoom out, it says substitute the known value of y and then solve for x. You guys could grab a piece of paper. You would have to do it on paper. However, I think there's a way for you to hit tools and you click the solver and it'll literally do it for you. Look at this. It substituted the 3 in for you, substitute for variable, and then it does all of the stuff you would usually do on paper, but then it even reduces the fraction for you. So you don't even need to do any work if you don't want. You can just do 7. Sorry. Why did I say 7? Reply in the comments, folks. Why did I say 7? You can do x equals 1/2, hit enter, and it says you're right. So there's 2 more steps to do. You are going to find your final answer that your x value was 0.5, your final y value was 3, and then they're going to give you the graph. This means when we graph them, this is the point where they intersect. So they graphed them for us. We're going to click label the intersection. And then in here, we are going to use the x and the y, and we're going to write it as our coordinate point. Our POI is 0.5, or 1/2, comma 3, close parentheses, hit enter, and you are done. That's when you hit the done button, and it'll give you another problem. Sometimes your problems are going to start with the graph, and that's the best part. You don't need to worry about the math. They're just going to ask you, hey, are these no solution? one solution or infinite solutions. Most of the times they intersect at a single point, which means there's one solution, and then you're going to be prompted to do this. And then you do the same thing. So you're all going to have different problems. I'd like you guys to do enough to close your rings. If you get them wrong, it'll take a little bit longer. So please don't just click around willy-nilly. Anyway, then you'll do the same thing. Right now, again, these are not ready to be combined yet. I have to change them. So I'm going to click no. One or both needs to be modified. Now this time, I only need to modify. I'm going to change that 2 into a 4 probably, so that it'll go away. So I'm going to choose Y, and then we do the same thing. So if I'm going to change this 2 to be a 4 so that those will go away, I'm going to multiply by 2. The top equation, I'm not going to change, so I'm going to multiply it by 1, and then you guys are going to just fill in all of the math. Good luck. Congratulations. See you later. Bye.